She just wants to move off into the countryside with some rich guy and raise their dogs.
That's the first gay guy that supports Trump. That's crazy.
Oh, he's gay. He's happy. He's a happy man.
Dodge, how many camels can you?
You never watched Doge play the space drum.
I can give you 10 camels. I can give you 10 camels for your hand in marriage.
Like an angry penis, dog.
Yeah, I've been known to be angry a couple times.
I'm sleepy, guys. Yalla, bye.
Borderline Shalom.
لا تروحي.
Hello?
وين لورا؟
Hey girl, you sound. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. You sound gorgeous. Hey girl, you sound gorgeous.
I sound gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I am gorgeous.
Tell me,
I am a goy.
Where did Bean go? Fuck.
Who is Bean? Yeah, the other guy.
Altan.
Yo.
Altan يا خرا. أنا متو.
Hey, Altan.
Oh, they're both Arab? Pretending not to be Arabi? Wow.
We didn't even pretend. You're the Hamara that never caught on.
Ooh.
With your stupid Indian accent.
That wasn't good accent. That was a pretty bad imitation.
Well, I'm out of here. This is a waste of time as usual.
Yeah.
I think we're at a tipping point moment right now in American history. Are we going to actually move towards a balanced budget in Washington, D.C.? If you listen to President Trump over the past few days, he said...
Organic, whole. And this is a mystery and a miracle. But according to the Zen masters, such is being performed every day. Satori can thus be had only through our once personally experiencing it. In the psychology of religion, this spiritual enhancement of one's whole life is called conversion. But as the term is generally used by Christian converts, it cannot be applied in its strict sense to the Buddhist experience, especially to that of the Zen followers. The term has too affective or emotional a shade to take the place of satori, which is above all noetic. The general tendency of Buddhism is, as we know, more intellectual than emotional, and its doctrine of enlightenment distinguishes it sharply from the Christian view of salvation.
Well, you believe in apostolic succession and that
Zen, as one of the Mahayana schools, naturally shares a large amount of what we may call transcendental intellectualism, which does not issue in logical dualism. When poetically or figuratively expressed, Satori is the opening of the mind flower, or the removing of the
Hi, beautiful. How's your day been? Thinking of you. Missing you. Prepping the coach house. Prosecute. A true clown queen. A true clown. True clown queen. Hi, beautiful. How's your day been? Thinking of you, missing your kisses, and prepping the kitchen for painting at the moment.
It's an absolute honor to stand here today, not just as mentors, but as witnesses to one of the most inspiring legal journeys we've ever seen. 6 years ago, Kim Kardashian walked into this program with nothing but a...
Congressman Omar, anybody say,
Can I get your reaction?
Last night in Washington, something horrific happened.
Artist, this is Christian.
It's an absolute honor.
Fast lane drive, Chicago.
For that.
All right. Would you like to expound on it before I go to talk?
I would love to, and by the way, and again, no disrespect. I did not invite anybody here because I've just been here for like 3 minutes. But it looks like some peeps have come in. I'm assuming it's because of you, Mace, because I've been an atheist for the past 25 years. But that being said, and hang on a second, I always tell people, if God is working for you, keep God in your life. Because I remember and I know that for the first 35 years of my life, God worked for me. But for the past 25, I've been an atheist. And once again, man, you hold amazing rooms. Thank you.
Nah, man, I appreciate you. Let me just welcome everybody. We got Quinn, we got Carbon, we got the man with the plan, Steve. We got God himself. God Divine is in the room. Comedian, our lead. We got Rohan. We got Laser. My existence, my savior, Laser. We got the Muslim. We got Jay. Y'all, welcome to the room. Welcome, 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 welcome. So I was just in the room, and then you had people arguing on the stance of not believing in God, and then I understand that there's believers in God, there's not believers in God. Which side do we choose? Which side do we tell our children to choose? Which side are you on, and which side do we go for in life, saying, well, children, be a believer in God, or children, be a non-believer in God? Where we at with this? So next, let me get God Divine. You were next. Carbon, did you want to say something?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know we were talking about the children, too. So for me, like, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't force believing on God on my children, but still, like, raising your children up in certain spiritual environments can help out in the long run. So if they were wanting to have that connection with the source, they can, but I'm not going to force it and say, we got to go to church, or I'm going to drag them and force them to read the Bible. But me being that example, I feel like is where it starts.
Put me in the queue.
All right, let's get God. I'm gonna come to your next comedian after God Divine. What we got, God Divine?
I think as early as they can comprehend it, that you tell them as much of the truth as you see it. So for me, I point out what I see my son will see. He'll see religious people claiming to have the truth in their book and their building, and then they'll say that the other people are wrong. So I want him to be able to look at it from a perspective, not that he's stuck in one book or in one building, but he can and see, oh, that's interesting. They all seem to be saying a similar thing, but they want to have the monopoly or the, we're the chosen people or whatever kind of title they want to give to exalt themselves above other believers, not even non-believers. They want to be better than you're believing in the wrong thing, even though there's supposed to be one thing. Because once he sees that, then he won't need to keep on coming to me and asking me questions. He'll always have the ability to discern for himself. I will always be here to answer questions for him, but I would rather him be able to tell me what he's learned, and then we can discuss that versus him need me to affirm something for him.
Right, excellent point. I do have another question, but I'm gonna wait. Comedian, how we doing, Mike? This is what we got now.
Yeah, I'm good. Basically, I just wanted to say that I don't want to mention anybody specifically in the room. Uncle Steve told me that. But what I'm trying to get across is large language models and books. You may say you're an atheist, but that's very lazy because you're essentially refuting countless books related to many religions which have a lot of information about psychology and psyche. And so when Carbon said it's good to raise a child up in a spiritual fashion, what you're talking about is psychology and anger management, emotional management, maturity, intellect. Atheist, because the books, if you read Preacher, Ecclesiastes, Vanity of Vanities, there's a lot to be learned there about about human brain science, about your condition in life, how to improve your life. So I think it's ridiculous to just say I'm an atheist, but not discuss the books. I mean, I like the book club. That, to me, if I was to join a religious organization, it better have a book club, is what I'm saying.
Shama, can I have a 60-second response, please, or should I wait?
Go ahead, the man with the plan. You got it.
All right, thank you very much. It won't take me longer than 60 seconds. I know that a lot of people, not to name names, I practice what I preach, think atheists are lazy. However, in my humble opinion, it is more lazy to call 500 million, and there are over 500 million atheists around the planet, to call them lazy. I think a lot of atheists, not all, have read books, have looked at all the evidence and literature on both sides, and hopefully made a comprehensive decision that the evidence on the side against God is more compelling, more believable, more substantial than the evidence on the other side of the coin. Thank you, Shama.
Thank you, my existence. So we're gonna get existence in the name of our lead. What we got, our lead? What's your thoughts?
Good evening, everybody. What I would say to the topic in the room tonight, if a person is looking for peace and tranquility within himself as well as his surrounding, and he's looking for a solution to his life problems, he's going to have to discover the truth, or what I call, discover God. And once he discovers God, he will automatically, naturally believe in God. And as far as the side thing about children, I think it's very important that a person first solve this problem properly, consciously first, and figure out the answer to this question before passing it down to the children.
I appreciate it. Did you want to address that, Steve? I see you put the thumbs down there and come in.
I'll even be quicker this time. I'll be 30 seconds. I don't think you absolutely black and white, no gray, have to discover God to have a better life. And one classic example would be the people that, in the name of God, hijacked an airliner, flew it into the Twin Towers, and killed thousands of people. But that's just one example. Thank you.
Can I go next, Shama? Put me in the queue.
So, comedian, let him respond right back to Steve, and then comedian, you can address what he said, all right? Go ahead, our lead. You can address for everyone.
Well, they say that when a person does not have a logical point, then they get two personalities. So that basically everybody can see how smart the brother Steve is.
Okay, so
All right, you got it.
yeah, so basically, the thing about an atheist, like Steve said, there's 500 million atheists on the planet. They've read all the books, and they've all come to the conclusion that the sky god or the king god or the godfather is not real. Now, okay, great, but there's still a metaphysic or an energy, essentially, which is what you are and what the universe is. So there's more to just atheism. There's a physics. There's physics behind all of this. It's energy. And so in terms of this app and really your whole life, it comes down to the sound, meaning what kind of sound are you emitting? Are you complaining all the time? Are you criticizing all the time? Are you playing music? Are you creating peace? And so to me, that's really the fruits or the products of a religious education is you realize I'm not trying to create disharmony in my life by emitting uncomfortable sounds or tell lies or try to lead people down rocky roads so I can get as much money out of them as possible. I'm trying to essentially communicate intelligence, clarity, transparency, truth. And maybe it hasn't always come off that way in my life, but to me that's the truth about God is it's not war and conflict, it's peace and harmony. It's joy now, which is the message of God. And so people who want to take you from that path, they may not understand the message or they are still perfecting and working on their communication.
Great. Hey, that was some powerful points, especially using the term energy and what sound you are emitting or giving off. And so as I listen, right, to the sound, the voice of atheist and theist, right, or a theist if you are a theist, right, when I listen to you guys give off the sound of controversy about God. So the frequency of controversy always comes when it comes to believing in God or not believing God on both sides. So that's a sound that is given off from both sides. My question is this: dealing with the children which are pure, which doesn't, like, my child doesn't take a stance on being a believer or a non-believer because I don't open the door for her to choose anything like that. However, when it comes to children, right, which one is trustworthy, or which one is the quality of people that are trustworthy that you should let children cling to and be an example of how to live in purity? Would it be believers in God, or would it be those who do not believe in God, non-believers?
You mean like the Catholic Church?
Hey, you let me know. I'm just asking. I'm throwing it out there.
It can be both.
The reason I say that is because the vibe was kind of like, would you want your children around good Christian God, good people, or the evil, bad atheists? Who knows what they'll do? Maybe that's not the tone that you meant, but that's the undertones that I heard. So that's why
forgive me.
Because you never know. Usually the more people, the more power the person gets, no matter what industry they're in. That's where the corruption comes.
But the God...
Yeah, forgive me real quick, comedian. I'm going to say this. No, I told you my daughter I wouldn't tell her to follow believers in God, or I would tell her don't associate with any of it because it's all the energy of controversy at the end of the day. I'm asking the people in the room, well, when it comes to the children of the earth, what do you say? Oh, are believers in God more trustworthy than non-believers, or are non-believers in God more trustworthy than believers? What's your stance on that?
I would love to answer that question. Once again, your Uncle Steve will do it within 60 seconds. When it comes to trustworthiness, who do I trust? I don't give a shit, pardon, I hope I didn't offend anybody, what your religion is, what your sex is, what your disability or sexual orientation is. What I care about is you as an individual. Are you honest? Are you consistent? Can I count on you, which all equals whether or not you're trustworthy. It's the individual, not the group. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that the Bible can be used for programming, and so you may meet people who are atheists that took the programming, and they're no longer theists because they've moved past it, because the programming is not needed anymore. So you just have to essentially view books as, on shelf storage programs that you can run that script through your mind and incorporate that into your psyche. And so your children actually need a contrast. They need the theist and they need the atheist, just how black and white go together. It's the pairing of opposites. Without the contrast, there's no differentiation, and you have to have differentiation to find a silver lining, which is always going to be the truth, meaning it's not too much of this and not too much of that. There is an equilibrium here at play, and if you are all or nothing on one position, unfortunately, I don't think you got the message, because the message is center mass and equilibrium at all times. That's the secret of the mysticism, which is essentially harmony now, which is, this is the Garden of Eden, but you have been fooled by words to be taken out of the paradise. And so that's my opinion.
I will take a little bit different view, because I think the job of the father is not to, after a child reaches a certain age, is not to give answer, but to help the child discover the answer himself or herself. Because the father is guiding the children, helping them discover the answer, whether to believe in the people who are believe in God or don't believe in God. I think the job of the father is to guide, is to help the child discover the answer for themselves. Why? Because in that process, the child goes through a lot of learning. And that learning is very important for a child to be able to discover for himself or herself. Because once they discover for themselves, they know why they believe, or why they believe one side is right or the other side is right, or both sides are not right. That's I think that's the way the father should lead the children.
Shama, is it okay if I ask Allah a question if he's okay with it?
Of course, my existence. Go ahead.
Shama, I'm sorry, Allah, can I ask you, is it Allah? Can I ask you a question?
Please go ahead.
So, you think that it's the job of the father to educate the children to believe what they think, even if it might be against what the Bible says. Is that correct, or am I mistaken?
Please repeat the question one more time.
Do you think the father should tell the children, if you don't believe certain parts of the Bible, that's okay?
I think, Brother Steve, you didn't listen to what I said.
Which is why I'm asking the question.
If you would listen,
I will.
If you would listen, Brother Steve, you will not have to ask the question. What I said was, the father doesn't have to tell the child one thing or the other, whether to believe in part of the Bible or not. The job of the father is to guide the child to study and discover it, both the scientific route and the theological route, and discover the answer for himself.
So, if I could just ask one logical follow-up question, and I know you said that if I listen, I shouldn't have to ask any questions, which, by the way, I completely disagree with, but that's another story. So, are you saying that if the child studies the Bible and determines that a lot of the Bible is completely not true, that's okay? Do you agree with that?
If that's what the child determines, absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it. So, did anybody raise their hand or something? Because I did have another question here. All right. Anywho, so let's put yourselves in the shoes of children, or your feet in a child's shoes. If you were a child, right, would it be in your mind to actually choose either side? Like, if you were a child, do children even focus on things like that? So if you put yourself back in the shoes of a child, right, would a child be like, oh, I'm a believer in God, or I'm a non-believer, or this is completely out of their minds?
It's the communication. It's the communication that the child ingests. When I was a child, my father had a box of books in a cabinet in the basement. That was my primary source, other than high school and the library, etc. But those were the books I had at home. I mean, there's a saying, show me the books you have at home, and you'll see the person in front of you. I mean, in many ways, we are what we've read and what we communicate. I mean, it goes, if somebody can quote things or know things, I mean, this is the basis of education and knowledge. It's words, and books are where they're at.
So let me get this back, comedian, real quick. So, comedian, you
bring that out, brother. Bring it out.
yeah. So as a child, right, you ran into books. What you mean? What kind of books? So just so I know what you
My dad was like big into this church on the radio called the Intercontinental Church of God by Garner Ted Armstrong and Herbert Armstrong. And when I got to college, they had a book in the library called The Kingdom of Christian Cults. And it was a big Christian church in Pasadena. They had a big building and all this stuff, all this money. But they're like Seventh-day Adventists or Jews for Jesus, essentially, because my dad is a Jew. So for him, I think the fact that they keep all the Jewish laws and traditions is like appealing for him, in the sense that he can work his, identity with a Christian organization within the United States. Because there's in groups and out groups within all these religious organizations. I've been to synagogues where converts have to sit in the convert section of the synagogue. And to me, that doesn't seem good, that we don't need to categorize or silo people who are there for education. It's all education and publishing, and that's all it is. And all the speakers on this app, all the communication spammers, and all the communication hypnotists, they're not running classrooms, and nobody on this app is reading books. It's all fucking spam, and it's all projection almost all the time, and it's always spam, but many times it's hypnosis. If that's it. Those are my opinions.
No, I got you. So now, hear carefully what I'm saying, y'all. Put yourself in a child's position. I understand the influencing of books out there, but I remember being a child, and I did not care about being either or. Like I didn't, even though I knew that my mom then was a believer or whatever. I was not into that. I mean, I don't care about being a believer in God or not. That in my mind, I'm ready to climb trees. I'm ready to go play hide and go seek. I'm ready to do a whole bunch of things. But I don't care about picking a side. So if you put yourself back in a child's position, or if you go back to when you were a child, I would say, were you arguing about either side at that point? That's what I'm asking. So who's next?
Well, it depends on when they put that fear of God in you. That's the whole idea.
But that would be
some parents want to do it earlier, and some parents want to do it later. So it really depends on what age the parent thinks that that's a healthy. Because remember, you have to make the person think that in most religions that there's something wrong with them, that there's that they're fallen, or they're in a fallen state, or they contain sin that they can't control, and there's a good place and a bad place. So for the younger that you put that into somebody, you could argue that that's better. But honestly, you're not using love to entice them. You're using fear to make them do the thing. It's more of a fear-based incentive.
But that's real quick. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say this real quick, beloved. That's what I'm saying. Put yourself back in the position. I understand. There's different narrative how children grow. I'm talking about you. So when you put yourself back when you go back to when you was 7 and stuff like that, did you be like, yo, I'm gonna defend being a believer in God, or I'm going to defend being a non-believer in God? Where are you doing that? Because I remember I wasn't doing nothing like that. That's me. But I'm saying where you was at.
Maga's slick ass. This is
Stole my car, stole this and that. I got my car, got all my shit back.
this is politically incorrect.
That's what it was. We weren't having any.
Look at that. Is that children I was trying to
Stupid. Which is that fat bastard from Florida.
Rick Ross.
Yeah, the CEO from Florida.
Ricky Rose?
No, the CEO from Florida. I don't know that nigga real name. I just call him CEO from Florida. And that pretty much ended that whole thing. 50 Cent fuck.
I don't recommend that.
Why not, Scotty?
I'm just gonna.
Is this the men's room now? What's going on? Where's everybody?
We've been waiting for you to chime in, Miss Lisa.
Lisa, we're talking about fashion. You came in at the.
What up, people?
I'm just trying to take this cast off.
You know what it is.
What up, Haitian?
What it do? What it do?
What up, Are you okay?
This guy wants to call into the
Yeah,
show.
you're right, Haitian. Do I
Yeah,
need to
I'm
send somebody over for a wellness check?
I'm a warrior, yo. It's all good. It's only one. We only one down. It's all good.
I'm actually.
Yeah,
I was worried that you might have got stage 9 too.
I was actually mad about it, Haitian. I was mad about it.
Yeah, I was fucking beyond mad last night. It's all good though.
I moved.
What happened last night? What
I
happened?
moved my car so I didn't get bent.
Yo, you don't want to talk about it.
I watched the highlights.
Oh, they talking about the neck. Yeah.
Y'all lost your legs. Yeah, the highlights were horrible.
Yep. So, hey, at least I called you earlier. Next time, pick up your damn phone. Yeah. Read what I put in Telegram.
Okay.
But Lisa, right before you came on, what we were talking about, telling them that I had picked up 5 acres of light industrial zone land out here. Now, I was telling them what I did was I had 2 friends wrap it up twice right before I made my bid intentionally. So I had it was on the market for it. I did.
Stop.
Committed fraud. He committed fraud.
Then I lowballed the shit out of them and it worked.
I had a friend who did that too. That is so cool.
I don't think I'm inventing the wheel, but it worked.
Wait, so what did they do? What do they do, Gemini? They offer a bid. They don't go into escrow, so they pull out before.
They pull out before escrow. They do all the due diligence. They do a contract. They do everything. But escrow. Keep the agent wrapped up. Keep the property off the market.
You're not gonna do that to me over here. That's for damn sure.
No, I'm on the West Coast, so you're safe.
I'm just saying we keep an eye on that shit.
5 acres?
But you can't scam people.
That's not really a scam. I bought it.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I'm saying like we got a lot of people who do shady shit out here, but we kind of know if you've been around for a long time, you kind of know right off the jump not to fall for it.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit. I have a friend. She's cool as fuck. She's a real estate agent. She's the one suggested that I do it that way. She said it's been sitting. Let it sit a little bit more. Let them get a couple offers and see how low they're willing to go. So we were actually testing them on what they accepted. They accepted the first offer they accepted from my friend was lower than asking, and the second one was even lower. So I knew where to come in at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not a scam as much as a stress test.
No, I get.
Now I'm sounding like Trump stress test.
No, but do you just for that? Like, do you have to show when somebody does that? Do they have to show proof of funds?
Oh yeah. My friends have money, so they proofed up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're capable. They just were doing it on my behalf. But no, I'm not dealing with brokies.
They proofed up and they ain't brokies.
But literally, she suggested that to me. She was like, let's find out where their head's at. We can come in twice and see what they're willing to accept. So when I guarantee you, when you make your offer, they're going to go for it. She was right. Women are more cunning than us. I'm telling y'all.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Mama Jazzy's discounted Q's cash flows into the future. Did you see that, Ro? I'm trying to click on it, but I can't get in. Oh shit, that's a funny title.
Hey, Shifty, bro.
Did it? Oh, here we go.
My mother's grandmother's mother or grandmother's grandmother, one of them.
When is it that you think that your family stopped being ethnically Jewish? Which
We
generation?
were never. She converted.
Whoa. Who converted?
The Jew.
Your great-great-grandmother converted?
Yeah, to marry my great-great-great-grandfather from my mother's side.
And he was Christian?
Yeah, of course. We don't marry non-Christians.
So then she was ethnically Jewish.
So now you have Jewish cousins that you don't visit?
Yes, because they go by the mama. I don't go by the mama. I go by the
Doc, you got two accounts now?
Did you have siblings that had kids, so now you have Jewish cousins all over Clubhouse, and you don't even know who you're related to? I just wanted to help you.
That's why I was talking to Nair. You know, maybe Nair is my relative. Like, that's the thing. I don't know.
Why, you share the same last name?
He admits it.
I haven't seen. I don't even know her last name. I have to check the family tree. I don't even have it.
Yeah, I thought.
This is such great news. Just by absorption, you know, you create the name Rabbi, you become a member of the tribe. You know, you've. Oh. Kick me. He's a member.
But what's your favorite place to vacation outside the country though? What's the best spot?
I haven't been there. I haven't.
I think Rabbi kicked me.
Hold on.
Wait. No, let's make sure we understand.
What's up with y'all?
Well, why don't you just agree? Just go, yeah, that's true, JCC.
No, it's not true. I'm about to tell you why.
Shit, it's not true.
Why it's not true, bro?
Did Muhammad talk to God?
Did Muhammad talk to God? Man,
Did Muhammad talk to God?
Did Muhammad talk to God?
Did Muhammad talk to God?
It's just so funny.
No, he didn't. No, he talked to an angel, and then the angel talked.
So can I say what I'm going to say?
Yeah, so,
Are you saying
so God told an angel what to tell Muhammad.
I'm trying to understand.
So in none of this chain of events over the timeline of the Muslim fucking bullshit story that I'm bloviating through, does Muhammad actually talk to God directly? We know this, but he just won't concede.
If he did, you wouldn't believe it anyway, right? So why you keep
Why don't you just tell us when he did?
Listen, if I said he did, you wouldn't believe it anyway.
Why don't you just tell us when?
I don't understand why you keep asking that question.
Well, you don't believe that Paul saw Jesus after he resurrected.
Listen,
you don't believe that Paul saw Jesus after he resurrected.
You wouldn't believe it anyway. So why you keep on regurgitating
You're just a typical dumb fucking Muslim.
That you're not gonna even. You don't believe anyway.
He's a Muslim.
Yeah, Muslims are stupid, dude.
Hey, I ain't gonna let y'all jump my brother like that. Fuck y'all. Y'all don't believe in God, so why y'all even use the scripture like y'all know it?
I'm just gonna ask you, JC.
You know the scripture is better
if I tell you
believers,
something,
that's
JC,
the problem.
I'm gonna ask you
if you actually read it and thought about the shit that you claim to believe in, you wouldn't believe it. But you don't. But instead, you just pretend and then lie about it.
We can't even have the conversation to see if it's true or not. If it's false, then you'll be able to point it out, smart men. College grads, right?
Wait, are you a Muslim?
So why are you tripping so much?
Wait, do you know what the Quran says?
So
you're evidence that it's full of shit. Amir, you are evidence. Amir, you are the evidence.
You're just running your mouth, man.
No, you're just running your mouth. That's why it's evidence that the Quran is full of shit. If the Quran were actually true, you'd speak better on it.
But I would tell you
actually say more things that make sense.
You gotta be the most unintelligent man I've ever met to say that there's no creator. And somehow you just got here. But no one placed you here. No one is taking care of you, huh? You gotta be the most unintelligent dude.
Nah, I'm more
no one's
intelligent than you are, dude.
taking care of you when things have been on earth before you came
on. You just sound like a loudmouth Muslim.
And it benefits you. You the stupid one.
I can live with myself. I'm sorry about your mother.
The Pledge of Allegiance.
Amir, what were you gonna? Fuck God and the Pledge of Allegiance. What were you gonna ask me, Amir?
Oh, so you're not an American?
I just wanted
am
to
an
ask
American.
JC one thing. If I tell you, JC, to write this, right, on paper,
Yeah.
who's the author? You or me?
Romero, this guy's just a numbnut.
You are the author. I'm the dictator.
Okay. So if me saying that the angel came to the Prophet Muhammad with the word of God, what makes you say that's not the word of God? That is
Typical
the word of the
dumb
angel.
Muslim who doesn't want to be
Because it
legitimate
comes from
on
an
stage.
angel. Well, first and foremost,
Hey,
right?
honey,
Sweetie,
probably be the
what do you need,
platform
baby
where
cakes?
you be able to say whatever you want to say to people, right?
Yeah.
Because I know you wouldn't say it in real life, right?
No, I
know
would.
you was having a
What would he threaten me?
speak to men.
Why, you think this
the
is
way you
fighting
speak to men on
words?
this
Are you
platform,
threatening
right?
me
I'm not even
physically?
talking to you.
Are you threatening
I
me
know that you're having
physically?
the time of
Do you
your
think
life
these are
to
fighting
to
words?
disrespect people while you're on the platform.
Yeah, I don't know why you would
I get
throw
it,
an
I
empty
get it.
threat at
It's always you
dumbass.
atheist dudes that always got this anger inside you. You can't have
Yeah, I'm
and you
fine.
want
I'm
to
cooking a
insult.
steak.
You want to insult. But I would never find you in the real life insulting anybody.
See how it is? This guy's threatening me with physical
No,
violence.
you are the one that's coming with, you the one coming insulting. You're talking to Jay-Z and you're jumping in saying things on the sideline.
But you just sound stupid.
They've been jumping me since earlier.
And dishonest.
Go home to your mom.
I just like to interject when people are being dumb and dishonest, like you are.
Brother.
So what did you achieve with all that, Amir?
Not a goddamn thing.
He's claiming that Muhammad spoke directly to Allah, but there's nowhere that he can verify.
I never said that.
Okay, so will you concede that Muhammad never spoke with Allah?
But now you're lying.
Yeah, see? Now he won't just fucking concede. JCC made a good point, and he won't just concede.
Amir, did God communicate with Muhammad vocally? Did God vocally speak to Muhammad?
They had a physical relationship, basically.
Is your name Amir?
Fuck that. You've been jumping niggas all day. We jumping your ass. Fuck that. Let them speak.
Wow, I feel so jumped.
Yeah,
My
let them
God,
speak.
all those punches
Fuck these
and kicks.
atheists, man. We gotta
Nah,
get them,
it's 3
guys.
on 3. I like
We all believe in God, right?
It's 3 on 3. It's 3 on 3.
We can have a conversation, bro. We can have a conversation, bro.
So Amir, I'll ask my question again. Did God verbally communicate with sounds with Muhammad? Did he talk to Muhammad vocally?
No, man, he didn't. He didn't do that. Why? Why you pressuring me, man?
The silence speaks volume.
No, I've never said that. I never said that. I never said that. You hear me?
Why don't you fucking answer his question then, dumb fuck?
So
I
Amir,
never said that. I never
Amir,
said that. You got this
I'm gonna
honey
ask
dude
you again.
whose name is Honey. He probably a sweet dude.
Dude, I'm so sweet.
Amir,
I never said that. I said what I said. And now you guys are taking what I said and you're making something else out of it.
I'm attracting
Amir, if I said that, like, you really...
Do y'all want to have a conversation? Or
Yeah, you gonna answer a fucking question?
We get the meta, but I guess what I would want to ask is, like, if I try to convince you of something, I said, oh, an angel told me the other day, blah, 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 is true, would you believe me because I said an angel told me?
No.
So why do you
Amir,
believe...
That's the reason why we're having a conversation, because I was hoping that you guys ask the questions, why do you believe it's true? Or
Amir,
why is this? You get little things and then you guys just run off with it, bro, and you just don't have a
Amir,
conversation. So it's just
can I
like,
ask you a question?
I'll hold your feet to the fire, numbnuts.
Amir, can I ask you a question? Do angels have vocal cords?
They speak.
Yes, they sing.
They speak. Like,
They sing. Like Lucifer, the guy you believe in, Lucifer. He was the best singer. Yeah, they definitely sing.
So, Amir, you're saying that an angel spoke to Muhammad and Muhammad just took dictation?
The angel came to the Prophet Muhammad with the words of the Creator.
And he spoke vocally
and
to
he
Muhammad.
recited, bro, it's like you got it all figured out, I guess. Because I can't even tell you.
He's asking you questions.
You're telling me before I even end the sentence, you're telling me.
He's
asked you a question.
No, he's not asking me anything. You know, I don't know the difference between somebody asking me something.
I heard him
If you want to ask me for something, you ask him to hear the answer, then you respond. But he's coming in while I'm answering him and telling him what the answer is.
I heard him ask, so did the angel use a vocal language?
So, he spoke to him in the matter that he spoke to him in. There's no details on if the angel has a voice.
Okay, so just say you don't know.
All that kind of stuff.
How does an angel?
Yeah, so Amir, so you don't know, right?
How would an angel?
I only know what we only can speak of the things that we have knowledge of, right?
Right.
So everything we won't have knowledge of, right? But certain things we will have knowledge of.
So you don't know if an angel can speak or not, but you just believe it, right?
No, I did not say that.
I'm asking you a question.
You're going into the whole thing. Do they have vocal cords?
I didn't say you. I
don't know how in the matter you spoke to him.
I didn't say you said it. I asked you a question, right? So you don't know if an angel speaks. You just believe it, right?
Yes, it's based upon belief and knowledge. Gotcha. Knowledge and belief.
Gotcha.
Okay. With that said, does that mean that Muhammad was just God's secretary?
It was his messenger.
Well, actually, that would make Muhammad the angel's secretary, because it's the angel that's brought the message.
Okay, so Muhammad's not even middle
management. The message is God's words, right? Through the prophet, to the angel, to the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So through the angel to the prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Because I'm already a Muslim, so I'm gonna tell you what happened. Angels came to Muhammad, and angels told, "Hey, Muhammad, you're gonna marry Aisha," and he said, "Okay."
And she was 9, and everyone was cool with it.
She was 9.
Okay,
now we're gonna have a conversation based upon the revelation, or you guys
just
want to
focus
go
on
into
how God talks to people,
or some type of moral argument or something like that.
We haven't gotten through. We haven't figured out what you're talking about still.
Moral and all that kind of stuff, because you atheists don't have a moral compass.
Yeah, don't say
Amir.
that.
Everything is
now you're jumping
anyway,
around
so you
like
can't say it's moral or not anyway.
Amir,
don't know what morality is.
Amir, you spoke out of ignorance. Non-believers have morals. Morals.
Where you get it from? Where you get it from?
Shut up.
From people.
Shut up. From experience, right?
We get it from people.
We learn what we don't like to happen to us. We don't want that to be put on somebody else. It's really fucking simple.
We use wisdom.
Why are you letting him side rail this shit, dude?
So if it's not objective, then how?
Get him back to how he knows what the fuck God said.
How does Allah talk?
You can't say something is moral or immoral.
Yes, I can.
Stop. You're too dumb for this conversation, Amir. Stick to the simple shit.
Subjective doesn't mean we can't have a moral, dude. How does you think morals are true? Our morals are Amir.
So if you tell Honey,
you're dumb, ignorant motherfucker. You be ignorant. You're not as smart as
you say, no, I think that's immoral. Honey say, well, I think it is moral. Who's
Gumbo has more intelligence than you do.
Who's correct? JC?
Hey,
about what? He said he wants to burn women, and you say it's immoral, and he said it is moral.
Hey, Amir.
How do you judge that?
For you.
It's just subjective morality. If he says it's moral, and you says it's not moral, based on what? Based on what?
Amir, I have a question for you.
Here is a fundamental question. The question
Amir, you have to be quiet, okay?
The question is this: would you believe a man that over a course of 23 years goes to a cave during a special month of Ramadan, and he claims that he had spoken to Archangel Gabriel, and he comes out and relay whatever he thinks he has heard orally to his immediate followers. At the same time, the man claimed at times Satan has spoken to him, and on the top of that, he forgets actually the verses that he has heard. So from my perspective, I think he made it up. All of it is made up. I do not believe a story like this in a man who claims that he has revelation from the God. That's just the question we're asking. Where do you get your evidence that actually he spoke to God? There was not a fly on the wall, let alone anyone else witnessing this. So that's the fundamental question we're asking you. And tell us, where do you get your this confidence that he spoke to Archangel Gabriel?
Okay, so we would have to observe the message, right? The message, the man, the message, what he said. He had to be 3 things. in my book, right? He either had to be a liar, or he was insane, or he was telling the truth. Unless you can think of another category. Can you?
You could say probably psychologically, it's epileptic, probably, maybe some mental issues. That could be also.
Right, he'd be insane.
Yeah, well, that's it falls into that category.
Right. So now we can look at
what's more likely, Amir?
Yeah. So anyway, just
Amir, what's more likely, you think?
Hey, would you just be quiet real quick?
Well, why don't you just answer that?
I'm talking to Ali right now. But at least he seemed like he's having a conversation and not just jumping.
You speaking to me, brother?
I'm speaking to Ali right now. So I'm saying Ali, that he would either Muhammad would have to either be a liar, or he would have to be insane, because you got to understand the forces that he would be going up against, right? Because it's not just that he is coming with a message. He's coming with a message that is going against what the people of the time believed in, like far as the Christians and the Jews and even the idol worshippers and all that, right? So now this man will have to definitely be insane to even come with a message as such, right? So, or he was telling the truth. I mean, unless you can think of another category.
No. Actually, there's a possibility that indicate over 23 years he made things up. He was also in contact with the Jewish people and other people in the city, and he made these things up. He did.
What did he make up?
Let me just finish here. I'm just trying to tell you that what I'm trying to ask you, there is no evidence that Muhammad spoke to any angels. Nobody was in the cave. That's the point we're making. Anything else? So unless you can provide a direct.
That wasn't the only time the angel visited the prophet. Was in the cave. That wasn't the only time that the angel Gabriel visited.
No, I said over a course of 23.
Right. The Sahabas have been amongst the prophet and witnessed the angel come to him.
And also, the cave was not the only place. He claimed that he also had revelations coming to him in other places as well too. And also, there's a claim that he had a direct communication with God himself as well too. So these are pretty large claims to be made. I think the easier answer to more kind of accessible or make sense to me would be that he just made these things up.
So are you saying that it's not even possible?
It is not
that those things going to happen.
Yes. Well, it is not possible.
Here, let me ask you again, Amir.
So
what's more likely? What's more likely?
Hold on. So
you don't like that question, do you?
So Ali, are you saying it's not possible because you?
Ali, maybe you should just ask him what's more likely.
Or are you saying that? Are you saying it's not possible, Ali, because you're saying that God doesn't exist in your paradigm, or that it's not possible for a man to get a revelation from God?
Let me just pick up on what Honey Badger was trying to say. Is it? Let's see. How do I say this? Which scenario would it be possible in terms of? Is it likely that he spoke to Archangel Gabriel, or he made everything up? I mean, which one is the likeliest scenario? Because
that he spoke, that he got us from God.
Okay, then you're just a dishonest person.
Okay, you gotta explain. Hold on. You gotta explain to me though.
No.
You gotta explain to me, Ali.
Finish what I'm asking. If you assume that he spoke to Archangel Gabriel, that entails a fantastic story that angels exist, Archangel was there, a God exists. Now compare and contrast with the story that the man made things up. Which one is more likely? That's what
that he met the angel, and that he met the angel.
To say that?
Okay, I would say that's a good question.
I gave you a better scenario that he made it up.
Yeah. But see, you can't make up. See, if you'd have made it up, Islam would have fell apart, right? Right? A false man can't even build a house, let alone build a religion. Right? So if you're saying that Muhammad just made it up.
What about Jesus?
And Islam was able, hold on. If you're saying that Muhammad just made it up, right? If you're saying that Muhammad just made it up, right? He just came up with
too motivated, bro. You can't even have an honest discussion.
Hey, bro, can I speak to the man or not?
No, you can't have an honest discussion. You've already proven it.
I'm speaking to the man. He's asking me something.
Yeah, you just don't know how to do this, dude. You're not good at this.
Would you shut up?
You're dishonest, bro.
Honey, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna punch this man in the face, man.
Hey, yo, honey,
How are you gonna punch him in the face? Like you're gonna find out where he lives?
Really?
Take a road trip to find him.
You now want to.
And then you're gonna what? Like orchestrate a situation so that you can
These
publicly
threats
punch
of
him in
violence
the
from
face.
Muslims are endless, dude.
That's so weird, man.
That's weird. That's weird as
Actually,
fuck.
I'm talking to one man. We got this dude that's coming off the mic. Just keep coming off the mic. Keep coming off the mic.
Oh my
you don't have a
God.
conversation. We ain't got to have a conversation.
You're exhausting to listen to. You're so dodgy.
But I was talking to Ali. I was talking to Ali. I didn't think I was talking to the honey dude.
Right. You just don't like talking to me. I noticed that you keep deferring to me.
Coming at me one out. Coming at me.
Hey,
You suck at this, and I'm willing to tell you right away.
Romeo. Shut your ass up. Let's spoken to Romeo.
So you say that like a public forum other people won't speak at? We?
It's tryouts for the asylum.
I'm not a Muslim, but what you said?
Romero.
There's a residency program at the asylum, and it's tryouts right now.
Yeah, real quick.
At the asylum?
FYI, a little public service announcement. We here has announced he only has an 8th grade education, so we gotta...
He sounds like it.
He made sure to tell us that.
I did.
As if he was like either bragging or warning us. I'm not really sure yet.
Probably a little bit of both, right?
Yeah,
the ones who are impressed with a low education are like, oh my God.
Y'all still gonna have to be checked.
Amir. So regardless.
No, you want to go back to Amir because y'all picking on Amir, but when I answer you, shit, y'all niggas don't want to say nothing about it.
What do we niggas? What us niggas?
They don't believe in that no more.
What are us niggas talking about? What
believe in that?
You igga this, you igga that, igga.
Yo, ass JDC, you went on Google looking for automated
igga.
Ravioli up here eating ramen noodles. He don't know what to say, and now you got Romeo in here. What you talking about?
Oh, Romeo, where art
thou, Romeo?
Dork. His name is Romero.
Like I told you, 8th grade, I can't read.
Okay, good.
You sound like you can't read.
Go to bed.
It's true, I can't. I'm in my truth. You mad at because I'm in my truth?
It's embarrassing. So what happened that you didn't learn how to read?
How come you didn't answer my shit though? Yeah, y'all want to pick on Amir. As soon as Amir came and backed me up. And he showed you scripture. Hold on, listen.
What's your question?
Amir, no, you know my question. Don't play stupid. Amir came here to back me up. Showed you scripture. Amir came in here, showed you scripture. And then y'all want to change the whole subject.
No,
y'all want to talk about that and everything else.
You know what? You're right. You're using
you know I'm right, brother.
So we're going to start quoting Star Wars.
From the 8th grade.
You hope Luke Skywalker meets up with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay.
While they're gone, stormtroopers raid Luke Skywalker's house and kill his aunt and uncle.
Oh my
God. But you know that never happened. You know that happened. That's a bad example. Give me another example, because they ain't killed Luke Skywalker. I watched Star Wars. They didn't do that. So give me a better example.
They killed his uncle and his aunt.
They killed his uncle and his aunt.
Yeah, they left the charred remains.
Because I'm pretty sure Darth Vader didn't have no brothers. He's the only child. Darth Vader's the only child, so he didn't have no uncles. So what are you talking about?
Luke Skywalker is definitely not an only child. He is a twin.
I said Darth Vader. In order for Luke to have an uncle, in order for Luke to have an uncle, that means his dad has siblings. His dad don't got siblings, so what uncle?
But his mother married a dude, and
Darth Vader.
That dude had a brother.
Yeah, the prince. Yeah, the prince that hit him.
Luke Skywalker is actually living with his step uncle and step aunt.
Okay, let me make one more comment before I go, if you don't mind.
Oh, well, because you brought up fiction. You brought up the New Testament, so I figured I'd bring up my own fiction.
Okay, that's cool. I understand that. Fiction versus fiction.
I want to make one more comment before I go. So, Amir, the reason we're saying that, I think if you read the Quran, I'm sure you have, there is not one thing of single value in it that has not been said before, written before, taught before.
Okay, so can we try that out?
Number one. Let me just finish. Second, and not only that, again, there's nothing in it. There is nothing new in it, but it is full of menacing ideas of the fatwa, the Sharia laws, the child marriages, and the rest of it. So even if you look at it this way, there's nothing divine about this.
Absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, it tells you it's absolutely man-made and is made in a horrifically bad way. There's nothing new in this book again.
Okay, so now I can respond to
that is the reason that I'm telling you, this man...
Brother, I read the Quran.
He's still talking to me here.
I think Muhammad made this...
You asking me if you read the Quran, I've already read it.
And he's literally
and what
still
you're saying is completely inaccurate, and I can prove this to you. I can prove the difference between what I'm saying is that I'm willing to show you the evidence. I'm willing to show you the evidence,
so
right?
You don't care.
To show that all the things that you're saying is
so we can interrupt
don't read. You're saying all this stuff don't read, right? But if anyone reads the Quran, they'll have a different take. That's why Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world.
Amir, if you feel like you can interrupt Ali, then we can interrupt you.
I didn't interrupt
you can't,
him.
Romeo. Shut your ass up. It's between us.
Finish.
Shut your ass up.
No, he wasn't. He was literally still talking. So
Romeo, shut up. It's between them.
You
Nigga,
want to
shut
be
up.
treated that way. I mean, I know that we wants to be manhandled the way he feels like he's manhandling me. You listen to how I ignore him because he's just like a child with an 8th grade education.
Yeah, exactly. But shut your ass up. Respect. It's between them.
But I have no respect for you.
I
have no respect for you, and I've lost my respect for Amir. Now what?
Nothing. You don't live where I live at. You good.
Well, of course I don't live where you live at.
Exactly.
Where do you live? Ohio?
I could be in Lorraine if you want me to.
In the mean streets of Ohio?
I could be in Lorraine if you want me to. Is that where you from? Youngstown? Columbus? What? I could be in Lorraine if you want me to.
Could you take a bus?
Bus, airplane, whatever you call it. Magnet carpet, whatever you want. Yeah, I don't got a passport.
I just wanted to respond to Ali, really. You know, Ali, if you finish, if you want to go ahead and finish, because I didn't know I interrupted you.
Yes.
Okay, so now you said that the things in Quran, man had knowledge of them before Muhammad had knowledge of them, before it was revealed to Muhammad, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So when did man have what was man's knowledge regarding the universe or the solar system?
Okay, that's another thing. Again, I forgot to tell you, the scientific claim in Quran is nonsense. Okay.
Brother, I just asked you a question. It's like I'm asking you a question, bro, and you're going into the Quran.
No. Why are you being disrespectful?
Let me just...
No, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm asking you a question, and you're going into the Quran. Can you answer my question? We're having a dialogue. If you ask me a question, I'm answering a question. Not me going into something else.
The way you answer, and Ali answers the way he does. Why are you being so disrespectful?
You're not going to answer the question.
He's literally in the process of answering your question.
No, he's not going to answer the question because he can't answer that question.
Why do you feel the need to act like a child?
No, I asked him to answer the question.
Are you a grown-up? Are you a grown man? Because right now you're acting like a child. Do you want to be treated like a child?
Would you shut up?
In a timeout?
Would you just shut up, bro?
All right, go stand in the corner, Amir. Go think about what you did wrong and then come back.
Shut up. By talking to you.
Is that how you talk to your teachers?
Yeah.
Does the Quran teach you to be so disrespectful?
That's disrespectful telling you to shut up?
Yes.
Why is it disrespectful when you're in...
Because you're acting like a child.
When I wasn't even talking to you.
Because you're being extremely disrespectful to the group.
No. You're just going inside because you're an atheist.
Now you're acting
you're just going inside because you're an atheist. That's it.
Oh, no. It's because I'm an atheist that I know more than you do. Oh, man.
You don't know
That's
anything.
so rough for you.
Yeah. No, it's rough for you to think that your life is just you just walk in the earth. No one puts you here. There's no purpose for your existence. You're just walking the earth and then you die. And no matter what you do on earth, even if you escape the courts of the land, there would be no kind of punishment for you or anything. Right? That's your ideology, right?
Amir, let me ask you a question. Amir, is it okay for a grown man to have sex with a 9-year-old?
Yeah, we don't need to do that either. So, Amir, when you say...
Is that morally correct, Amir, to have sex with a 9-year-old? Because you're a homeboy.
It would depend on what time you're in.
So, Amir.
Because apparently back then they had wives very young. That's the way it was.
Amir, how does the time difference make a 9-year-old be more mature?
Let me think. My grandmother got married at 11. Would I want that for my daughter? No. Why? Well, it's a different time.
Was it right then?
It was a different. It was right for her.
That's not an answer. That's not an answer.
That's
not an answer.
Was it really?
That's not an
It was
answer.
normal for
That's not
her.
an answer.
It was
That's not an
normal,
answer. That's
brother.
not an answer. That's not an answer.
If different age, if it's normal, the society is normal.
That's not an answer to my question.
Come later on and say, well, this is not normal.
How does a 9-year-old be more biological mature back then than a 9-year-old now? You didn't answer my question.
I don't know how.
Okay, thank you.
I guess it would be the environment.
Thank you.
I guess it would be the environment, the circumstances, things like that would make a child older.
Don't guess.
Just don't.
Your first answer was correct.
I'm being sarcastic with you, stupid. I'm saying,
I'm stupid.
This would make a child older in those times than now. You know the answer.
Ignorance.
You know the
Remember, he had to wait 3 years. What did he have to wait 3 years for, Amir? Amir, what did Muhammad have to wait 3 years for?
What we talking about?
Amir, your grandmother was raped.
So y'all want to skip the Quran, right?
Amir, I'll read the Quran with you.
Every time people want to talk to me about Islam,
what did Muhammad have to wait
always
3
going
years
back
for?
to Muhammad's marriage. And it just kind of like. Well,
I usually stick with Surah 2. I usually stick in Surah 2.
Well, I mean, Aisha is the one he married, right? He didn't marry you. He didn't marry none of you, right?
Right, he married a little girl he had to wait 3 years for.
Aisha was, who was a scholar.
Yeah.
A scholar as a woman, right?
Cool. That's cool, man.
Little girls that a grown man deals with.
Why did Muhammad have to wait 3 years? What was he waiting for?
So obviously it was normal.
Hey, Amir, what was Muhammad waiting 3 years for? Do you have an answer to that?
Now I'm ready to go back to the
you don't have an answer to that, do you, liar?
No, I don't have to. No, I'm not.
Because you're fucking full of shit. Because you're fucking full of shit, bro.
You don't want to deal with the God talk.
Oh, I do.
Hey, Amir.
I do.
You don't want to deal with that talk.
I just don't think you're capable.
Amir, I have to
You
inform
guys
you that
sound
you're.
dumb. Like you act like.
Amir.
Let me ask you this: in this country,
Can you hear
the
me,
age of
Amir?
marriage in this country in the 1800s. What was the age of marriage in this country, honey?
And I'm gonna do it so calm.
What was the age of marriage?
Too young.
Amir.
In this country, I'm talking about this country.
Too young. He was too young.
Taken advantage of.
Okay, so now, okay. What?
Are you just saying just because other people do bad stuff that's okay too for you?
You said it was too young.
The pedophile that married your grandmother was a monster.
Based on who, honey? You said
Based on what we know about human psychology and sexual maturity.
So the people in the 1800s in this country, they were all committing wrong.
Yeah.
Well, now that's how we would see it now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Don't you see marrying a little girl at 6 was wrong? But now.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, now. Okay.
I was back in the 1800s.
Yeah, but why did God have to work within the parameters of the time?
Because the society is different now. It's different.
Yeah, but why does it matter to God?
Hey, honey,
but you're saying, but it's crazy that you guys are saying.
Nah, you're just not following and being honest.
Too young. You said it was too young in this country, right?
Hey, honey badger.
Yeah, he just doesn't get this, dude. This guy's just a motivated
Hey, honey badger, I have a question for you. In the year 1800, would you have married a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Amir, in 1800, would you have married a 6-year-old?
I can't speak on that.
You can't just say no.
I'm gonna speak on something that if I'm not in that time frame, I don't know what's normal in that time frame.
In the year 1800, if we transported you back in time with a time machine,
I'm not gonna answer a question like that.
Would you marry?
I'm not gonna answer a question like that.
A 6-year-old?
Because
I would not. You're right on that.
I'm not gonna answer a question like that. Because
why?
Because my answer is for today. Right? If you're gonna do that answer based off of today.
Just answer from today.
In the 1800s, and
that's how you
from today.
Well, you don't want to mess up and say the wrong thing. Is that right?
No, I'm just saying that in the 1800s, in the country, if the marriage, if women would get married,
so then you would. So then just say yes. Then just say yes.
People of the society.
And just say
yes.
yes.
People of society deem it to be
dishonest person.
I mean,
hey, Amir.
What can I say? I mean,
ask me the question. Amir, ask me the question.
I'm you believe in God, so
you went back in time, Romeo?
No, I would not marry a 6-year-old if I went back in time. No, absolutely not.
You can't even say that. You can't even say it. Because you wouldn't think the same if you came back, if you were born in the 1800s.
If I was born
in that society, bro, like today, you probably deal with a boy. You probably deal with a boy, right? Because it's probably normal for you to deal with a boy, right? Because America says it's good for you, it's okay for you to deal with men, right?
Morally reprehensible.
Are you just telling us you're gay, Amir? Like most Muslim guys?
Like girl had a period, she was considered a woman.
Are you just admitting that you're a gay man?
They did.
No, I'm saying it's your secular law that says that. Understand?
Sounds like, well, you brought it up. It just seems like you're focused on gay shit.
For the whole room, I just want everyone to know that
Who said that? I said that just last today.
Focus on gay shit?
Romeo probably deal with a boy. And he would think that is okay. Right?
I'm not Muslim.
You think it's okay, right, Romeo? Romeo. No. I follow Quran. The Christian will follow the Bible. A Jew will follow the Torah. But Romeo, you go by secular law. So do you think that homosexuality is okay?
His name is Romero.
No, his name is Romeo.
Romero. Do you think that is okay for a man to mess with a man?
If they're adults, yes.
What happened, Ravioli?
So you deem it okay for a man to go into another man? Don't talk.
If they're adults, yes.
Yeah, don't talk.
He is focused on gay shit.
Because I told you he was a homo. I knew you was
his name is Honey. His name is Honey.
Just remember, Amir, you admitted to being a pedophile. So I really don't care what you have to say.
I didn't think about. First off, pedophile is a sickness.
Yes, you
First off,
boldly said it, Amir.
It's a sickness, and secondly, in the time of Muhammad, such thing.
Amir, when you said
see how dumb Muslims just do this to rooms?
When you said you'd marry a 6-year-old, that makes you
I never said that.
Yes, you did.
I'm not answering your question.
Yes, you ignorant
boy. I'm not going to answer your question.
You're about as smart as a bowl of gumbo.
And then we...
And all respect, Amir, it does say that in the Quran. He married a 9-year-old. She wasn't 6, she was 9.
So did
wow, Amir.
They married at 6, and why did Muhammad have to wait?
It's amazing that a dude up here is telling us that he is okay for a man to go into a man. He okays that. That's what I'm telling you about subjective morality. You think it's okay because he does it.
You better smart
deal with men, so you think it's okay because you say it's
smart gumbo. You better.
And that's morally correct.
Definitely gay.
Consenting adults are always morally correct. Consenting adults.
I hate not having
always morally correct.
Hell no.
In rooms like this.
You know why it's not correct?
Are you a rapist?
Listen, 2 men.
Are you against people?
Yeah, me again. 2 men, what do they create?
There's a huge difference between consenting adults and 6-year-olds. Huge.
Do you believe in consent?
Conversation is
Hey, 8th grade boy, it's time for dinner.
We're changing that. 2 men, what do they create? 2 men.
Money. Family.
Yeah, money. 2
money,
women.
Family,
2 women,
love.
what do they create? 2 women, what do they create?
Cars, they create safe households.
But you know what they don't create? They don't create life. They don't create life.
Do you think that women spontaneously get pregnant?
Muslims are fucking not all. Amir, you're the fucking biggest piece of trash. You refuse to answer anyone's questions, and yet you demand answers.
He sounds like
oh shit! There's Jay again. The white European man who writes nigger on his PTR because he doesn't dare do it in public.
So, but James, just remember that everything I do
in your face. How about that, buddy?
James, everything I do. Yeah? James, listen to me. James, focus on me.
Yeah.
Just forget about Jay. Focus on me. Everything I do is to give these people the rope for them to hang themselves.
And you do it well.
Right? Same with Jay. I will let Jay talk because the more he talks, the more awful he sounds to everybody
this is
else.
the guy that wants, to abort his grandchildren,
Wow.
Make
When
sure you
did
get those
Romero
black
ever
babies
say
out
that?
of your grandchildren,
Did Romero
Listen
ever
to
say
Jay.
one? Wow.
Listen to how awful Jay is.
He's a piece of shit.
And now he's spazzing out. So just remember, everything I do
laughing
is
at you.
to embarrass these
You sound like a
people
gay
even
Ben
more.
Stein.
You have integrity,
Embarrass
Romero.
yourself.
That's why I respect you. You got integrity. You're a good, fair man. I like listening to you. Jay is a piece of shit.
Oh, you're gonna suck his dick now? Gonna give him the
Gangster. He pretends to be gangster. He comes in the rooms like he got balls. But in real life, when he goes to school, his lunch money gets taken. That's why he's
I got
butthead.
a Glock, dude, with hollow points in it.
What a Glock. I'll shove that Glock up your ass. What about that?
I'm so tall.
Oh, I'm scared. He's got a Glock. He's got a Glock. A Glock ain't
Like,
shit.
stupid man, like you babble like a little kid.
But just let Jay talk. Like, the more he talks, the more he hangs himself. The more he becomes a desperate, lonely little boy. And everybody knows it.
Yep. And you know why he's lonely? Because he doesn't know how to approach women, and Viagra doesn't work for him either. That's why he's lonely. No woman would touch you. The last woman to look at you was in the hospital, the nurse that gave birth to you, that birthed your mother.
Listen, you must praise Allah. Praise the mighty
No,
Allah.
I'm not a Muslim. I've never said I'm a Muslim. Making vacuous claims about shit you don't know.
Dude, you need to relax and learn how to joke, man.
No, I don't joke with you. You know what I'd like to see? I would like to see you get bumped by a bus. That's what I would like to see. I don't like you.
The almighty
I don't like you. Yeah, and you pray to your God. You know, the one that raped Mary. God impregnated Mary without her prior consent. God raped Mary. That's why you see us like, fuck, you love rapists, you piece of shit. Having sex with a small little child, a pelvis isn't fully formed. Now, why do you have sex with a child? Because you got no game. Other women don't want you.
I don't think he's a real Muslim there, James. So.
He isn't a real anything. He told me he's white European.
Make this stuff up, man. This is why
He told me he's white European, and yet he sounds like a Mexican. Typical.
Why you got a problem with Mexicans?
To be something that you are not. I don't have a problem with. I love all people, black, white, green, yellow. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Do you love Muslims too?
Hang on a second.
Yes, I
Talk to me. Hang on a second. So, I brought you up. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? I'm going to give you 3 seconds to get something to talk about, or you will.
I said I started this whole thing. What are you talking about? Well, you got the room now, JT?
What do you want to talk about,
Let's go back to how this whole thing started. Before Amir even chipped in, he came in to everything I was talking about.
Okay, what do
you believe in?
What do I believe in? Things that can.
Yeah, remember I started with the Big Bang, right? And you said yes. So let's take it step by step.
So you asked me, what do I believe in, right? I believe in things that comport with reality. Now what? I muted your dumb ass. You can unmute and answer me. I believe in things that comport with reality. Now what, You know what, you 8th grade little dumb fuck. Bye-bye.
I mean, you come onto stage not to talk. What the fuck is that?
You must go around the Kaaba in Mecca and kiss the black stone.
Oh, you're supposed to give me a blowjob. And after that's